have a little bit of an unfortunate mixture of broth in with, like congealed broth, in with the tallow. And this actually is from a brisket instead of fat in a can. And when you're cutting off fat slices like that, and you can see this right here, you know, it burns okay. It'll probably burn okay until it gets towards the bottom and it runs out of tallow and just gets to, you know, that congealed broth thing. But when you're cutting, you know, pieces off like that, you're gonna get some other stuff in with the fat, probably, unless you're really, really particular. And I was not particular at all, because the video that I'd watched, you know, said that it was okay to leave a few meat pieces in there. And I always thought that the broth would just, you know, sort of evaporate. But I actually had done this longer than I was supposed to. The tallow part started evaporating. So at the point where the tallow starts evaporating, you know that nothing else is going to really evaporate out of it. So it was as pure as I could get it. The problem was that I put too much other stuff in there, too much little shreds and things of actual meat and not fat that were attached to the fat. There's definitely no water in it. It's just that, you know, congealed. It almost is like the consistency of congealed blood, but it's, you know, it's yellowish, which is the broth. And like I said, it seems to work okay until it gets down to the very bottom. But I need to do some more experiments with this to see if I can't get it like perfect without any of that broth in there. The one from the can was really easy to not get much broth in because, you know, it had already separated naturally when they canned it. The fat just kind of floated to the top. And it was like pure tallow when I did it. So I know that if I get just fat, I can make just tallow. I know that works. I just have to be really, really particular on what pieces I'm cutting off, what's going in the pan. Also, this tallow was much, much, much harder, like I expected, than the one from the can, because anything canned is always soft. It was hard enough, once it dried, it was hard enough that I think I can make, if I ever got enough tallow, which I probably won't, but I could make hand-dipped tapers, because it is hard enough. And watching how it's burning, too, it's burning more slowly. And it is taking the smaller wick, whereas the really soft, you know, it was so soft that it would suck up too much at once and it needed a larger wick. Well, this is hard enough that it's taken the smaller wick just fine. So there are some things that are better about this that I had with this batch. But then again, you know, over half of the candles that I made had so much broth in them that it was like half broth and half tallow, and it wouldn't even stay lit for very long. So, you know, this is one of the ones that were mostly tallow. I think perhaps, potentially, third time will be the charm, hopefully. We're gonna get there. We're gonna eventually get it at least near perfect. Probably not perfect, but near perfect enough to have a nice candle out of it. And again, it's going to take me probably another several months or so before I get another brisket. So it'll be a while, but I look forward to continuing the saga of don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but doing it anyway, making candles out of fat.